Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to crumble!
I'm Joshua Kemble, and welcome to Joshua Kemble's Livestream. I've been a freelance illustrator and graphic designer for over 20 years. I was an art director for 9 years. And when I'm not art directing and working on illustrations and graphic designs, I'm working on comic books and graphic novels, and that's usually what I do during my streams. And while conversations can go all over the place on this stream, from spicy and entertaining to goofy and silly, one thing stays consistent throughout every stream. I'll always be working on art. So pull up a chair, get your art supplies out, and get ready for an entertaining show that'll keep you company while you work on your own personal art projects. This is Joshua Kemble's Art Stream. All right, I'm Joshua Kemble. Welcome to my art stream. I'm going to be working on comics today, which is pretty exciting. I'm also going to be mentioning an affiliate link, which is kind of exciting for me too, because it's a place that I often get little knickknacks or guitar goods. And so I actually use this place. And so I don't feel bad at having kind of an affiliate agreement with them. So anyhow, so we'll get into that in a second too. And then aside from that, what I'm going to be working on today is drawing, and I'm going to be playing you guys some music that I've tracked. It's kind of bizarre, but I got this. This is not the affiliate thing, by the way. It'd be cool. I'd definitely make a deal with this company because they're amazing. But I got this kind of incredible Stratocaster, a Firefly Stratocaster, and something about first off, it's like dirt cheap for a guitar, and it's beautifully made, and I love it. But second off, and maybe this can lead to like a discussion of sorts or something like that, but there's something about uh, I've been kind of a Telecaster guy like my whole life for music. That's my favorite kind of guitar. But there's something about picking up a guitar that's a good version of what was my first real guitar, which was a Strat. And I don't know what unlocked when I got this guitar, but I've recorded 6 audio tracks. Well, 5. And then I have a 6th that I haven't done anything with. That one I actually done with a Telecaster. So in the last like week, I've recorded like 6 tracks of songs. I have like almost a full album's worth of just music without any vocals or anything like that yet. And it's kind of interesting to me. I wonder what that is about, kind of getting a hold of something that's like an older thing that you used to be inspired by. And like my first real guitar, I used to write songs on that thing all the time. And there's something about that familiar feeling and the switches and the settings that just kind of brings me back to that point of like uninhibited just kind of creation. And so it's been pretty cool. So I want to play you guys a lot of those songs. But first, what I want to do is get into making comics. So I think we'll do both at the same time. We can talk or walk and chew gum at the same time. Chew your blah blah. That's the statement. Chew blah blah blah. So before I get into drawing, what we're going to do on this stream is draw right here, right? Boom. We're going to basically, I think in this one stream, probably shade this page. And then tonight, after shading, hopefully the whole page during this stream, we'll probably take a break and then stream again and color. So this is page 106 of Not Death But Love, The Strange Supernatural Story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. So that's one thing we're going to be working on today. I just wanted to show you guys what we're going to be doing is like working on shading that. Another thing I want to do is real quick before I get into anything. And again, this is not the paid advertisement or anything. This is my friend Christopher Runciman's one-page story extravaganza graphic novel. It's a beautiful book. It's hardcover. It's nice. I really like the size of it. It's portable. I read through it fairly quickly. It's great. It kind of breaks down the different prompts that he does his amazing comics based on. Because what Christopher will do is really unique for a cartoonist. He'll do live streams, and then he'll get suggestions, and he'll make a full page comic based on listener suggestions, like people who are listening or participating in his chats. And it is so ambitious uh, and kind of like the nice thing about it is, much like a chat room, it has like a variety of different styles and topics. And it's just a really great glimpse into Christopher's mind and his art skill as well. His layouts are all over the place. This thing is amazing. I think for me in the US, I think this was like $17 on Amazon. So and for a hardcover that you can put on your shelf, that's great. And then I also want to give a shout out because I missed Artcasters this Thursday. And the reason I missed it was kind of a typical parent problem where I had forgotten that Thursday was actually a back to school night for my kid. And so I opted for back to school night over Artcasters. My apologies to Paul Pate. But I'm bummed because I wanted to talk to Paul because I love this series. And because on Thursday, I had ordered it to where it would arrive on Thursday, so I would have his book in hand when we had him on. Unfortunately, I didn't make it on Artcasters on Thursday, but I did pick up Detective Perez Autotropolis, and I can't wait to sit down with it and read it. And I'll probably be doing that to just kind of decompress when I'm working on my comic because I love this series. This is the third in the Detective Perez series. I've been a fan. Paul's a listener of the show and a friend of the show, and also a friend of the Artcasters. Met him through Jim Luhani. He's a great guy. I've met him in real life. He's a great guy, but more importantly, he writes really solid noir detective fiction, and they're really fun books. Like, they're incredibly enjoyable to read. They're very mysterious. The plots are great, and the drawings are incredible. And again, like, it's kind of bizarre, but this one is. I re-listened to Artcasters, the one I wasn't on, and from Thursday, which you guys should all check out, that had Paul Pate on it, and he described it as his shortest book, like 200 pages is the shortest of the series. I recommend picking this up, Detective Perez. These go for like $6 on Amazon, dude. So like you could buy the whole series for under like $20 probably. So you guys should support Paul's stuff. And now I'm going to get out of the way the new thing that I'm going to be adding to this stream in hopes of hopefully making a little bit of revenue. I'm just being fully transparent here. I use Temu all the time. Temu is basically an app. It's mostly Chinese products, right, that are really cheap. And you order them, and the shipping takes a while because it's from, most of these are from China. But it's great if you're into like modding guitars, if you're into like cheap art supplies and stuff like that. You're not going to get like high end, crazy quality stuff on there, but it is very useful for my guitars that I've kind of fitted like the necks and stuff like that. I've ordered literally, I've ordered fret wire from there. I've ordered sanders. I've ordered my radius board from there. I ordered a bone nut and a bone saddle, different components for guitars that I was building. And the first few that I ordered, I was a little like, I don't know about the site. It's kind of a gamble. And then after a while, I was like, I'm all in on Temu. Like, I use it all the time for it's great for gifts, for pop culture gifts, for really interesting stuff if you're on a budget. So I am going to be including an affiliate link in my videos from now on for Temu because I use it all the time. I might show Temu products occasionally on here, but I will never lie about the quality of them. I got my smartwatch from Temu. It was like $30. And it's great. It's not again, it's not an Apple Watch, but I like it and I use it all the time. So there's a promo code that if you already have Temu, if you use that promo code, the next purchase that you have, it kicks me some money, which is great. If you don't have Temu and you want to check it out, I think let me get all official here. So the link below will give you $100 coupon bundle, or you can search for ACU 499197 on the Temu app, and it will get you 30% off as a discount. And so the link's down there. So if you have Temu, if you shop on Temu already and you just want to support my live streams, that's a great way to do it. It kicks me a little bit of cash, and I'm trying it out. I'm trying this affiliate thing. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, all that out of the way. That's the only paid promotion was the Temu thing. The other ones are just friends. And again, that'll be paid if you guys click and get that kind of stuff. And I really do plan on featuring some of the products from Temu on future live streams because, again, I get a lot of guitar working stuff on there. Speaking of, I'm going to play some music that I've recorded that I have no lyrics for yet, but we're going to run through 6 songs while I work on art, and then I want to know your guys' opinions. Let's see. I uploaded them so that I can play them live while we're working. I wonder what you guys are up to. I know it's a Saturday, so if you're listening, let me know in the chats what you're working on. As you can see, I'm overdue for a haircut. I'm starting to have the the wild hair. Okay, so here is. Let's listen to the first song. This is the first song that will eventually be probably on a self-titled album because I have about 6 songs now. So if I have like 4 more and then I can track lyrics, I'd probably just release this as a solo. I know that my collaborative project, we're at 9 songs. I'm not going to play any of that until we're ready to release it. But this is like 6 songs that I have for my own solo thing. And again, 5 of the 6 were written in the last week just because I love this Strat. Like the Strat I got from Guitars Garden, the Firefly. I love that guitar. It's a great guitar. And it's fun and it's dirty and it makes me want to write punk rock, which is kind of fun. So anyhow, I'm going to play some of those songs, and what we're going to be doing is shading this page and kind of continuing the shading. There is one thing I don't like about some of the shading that I had started earlier in the week on here, which is I really want it to go a little darker down here. It just feels a little too bright by his legs and by the bottom of the couch. So we're going to work on that, and I'll play the first of the songs, the one that was recorded before this week, and that's the one you hear on the intro, so we'll just listen to the full thing. So here it is. And then again, if you guys have anything you want me to talk about or any questions or you want to share what you're working on, I'd love to hear it. Okay, here it is. And let me know if you guys can hear that okay. So this is the theme that I've been using, on the live stream that I recorded. And I still have to think of lyrics and vocals for all of these songs that I'm going to be playing today. But let me know your opinions or if you're having trouble with the audio. All right, so that's track number 1. I think I got a comment. Okay, cool. Gary said it sounds right to me. So I'm going to play all the songs that I've recorded in the last week. And this is almost like a little sneak peek of what my next little solo album is going to sound like, obviously without lyrics or words yet or vocals. So those will be added probably last, which is going to be interesting. I just want to kind of keep on this train of like, when I get home playing guitar for like 30 minutes and writing a song. And Gary was talking about potentially playing the guitar-ish stuff and was kind of mentioning the idea of kind of doing it as like a decompression or like an interesting side thing. And I will say this, like, for me, music is just fun. Like it's fun. It's enjoyable, and it's a form of expression that's not my day job, and it's not something that I really associate with like commercial benefits or anything like that. Um, and yeah, I mean, so my ambitions with music are just to make some cool songs and have fun with recording and writing and stuff like that. And it's just, that is pure art for art's sake kind of thing. Um, and it's fun to have something like that. I imagine my relationship with music is like that of a hobbyist with art. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, I love doing it. I love playing music. I would play music for free. I do play music for free. I record music for fun. And I try to write good music, but it's like, I'm under no pretenses about like where it's going to end up, or, I'm not taking it nearly as seriously as I take like my graphic novels or my comics or my art stuff. So it is kind of a decompression thing for me. So speaking of that, we're going to play now the second track. And this is the first of the tracks that I recorded with the Stratocaster. And so this is going to be giving you a sneak peek of like 6 of what will probably be 10 tracks in a couple months or so on an album, I'm guessing, because I got to do something with these songs. I think I played a little bit of this one on my last stream. And then the bass you hear on this, that's recorded on my my Stingray, my Sterling by Music Man Stingray bass that I've shown on here. And one thing I like about these tracks, since I haven't done audio vocals for them yet, is they instantly make me start thinking of lyrics, which is good. That's good. That's going to make me recording vocal tracks and stuff on them that much easier. And what we're doing right now also, if you're just tuning in, is shading page 106 of Not Death But Love, The Strange Supernatural Story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning, my graphic novel with Turner Publishing. And we're listening to some music that I tracked over the week, because I got really inspired with my new Stratocaster and decided to write some stuff. Which is what you want with a new instrument, right? There's no point in having a variety of instruments. Dylan said, "Hey, Gary, Josh, I remember this verse. Nice." Yeah, and then I'm going to be playing new stuff after this, because I have 4 others that I've tracked since the last live stream. Yeah, but that's what you want from owning a variety of instruments. Is you hope to kind of get like a different sound or an inspiration from it. That's the goal. It's funny too, because whenever I track, I'll turn this down just a little bit while I talk. Whenever I track these songs, the different ways I play on different instruments requires the bass to have a different sound. So there's like this active function on the Sterling, the Music Man, and it basically makes it like real muddy and chunky. Instead of it being like a boom, it's like a boom. And when I play these songs, when I've tracked songs with the Stratocaster, I have to like turn that up because it just gets all chunky and loud and crunchy for some reason. It's just where I go with the Strat. So that's been pretty fun. Have you guys ever had a moment like that? Like you drive a car that's like a car you learned in, or you pick up an art supply that you really used to use all the time, and it just brings out this like creativity in you. That's interesting to me that happened with this Strat. Particularly, I've always been a guy who's like, I don't think a Strat is the best instrument. I think a Tele is the superior instrument. But there is something about that Strat because I think I learned on it, you know, where it just brings up fun stuff. And stay tuned. And like I said, I know I mentioned this at the top. I don't want to be like a commercial or whatever, but if you guys want to support what I do, you can do it a couple ways. You can send a super chat, but one way that's like doesn't cost you really much of anything is make sure you download that Temu link. I do get a kickback from it, but it's like basically if you already use Temu, you can use that code and get like 30% off. And if you haven't used Temu, it gives you like a $100 coupon pack. And I like Temu. It's cheap stuff, not high quality, but it's great for around the house stuff or tools or things like that where, you know, you need basic things. I use it all the time. That's why I like when I had the option of being an affiliate with Temu, I was like, yeah, I like Temu. So, cheap Chinese products, but I love them. Dylan said the past 20 minutes I've been writing down Yu-Gi-Oh card ideas. I haven't done it in a long time. Well, I would do it all the time as a kid. Nice. Yeah, Gary was saying a pile of pencils and an eatable eraser will make me sit and draw for a bit. Yeah, right? It's just there's something about it. Nice. The only thing about the music playing function on this streaming platform is it'll sometimes loop, and so but I don't think this has played the full thing yet. There it is. Okay, so that was the second song that'll be a solo album kind of thing, and here is the third. And again, this was recorded a couple days ago. You gotta do a chug chug song, you know? Nice. Dylan said 40 minutes ago they received their 2-pack of Pantel color brush ink refills. I'm excited. Nice. I'm excited for you. I like Pentel pocket brush pens. Man, I keep getting software update notifications that you guys are not seeing, but it's that kind of screws up your flow. When you're painting, like the one nice thing, there's a couple about manually painting or manually drawing, and one of them is as you're moving your pen, you don't have a notification saying software update, like messing up your workflow. But I'm having a good Saturday. I'm feeling inspired, man. Like musically inspired, artistically inspired. Been getting better at teaching. It's been a good, interesting thing. Yeah, Paul, I'm playing tracks that I recorded live. Ben is Ben jamming while you draw? Ben is building Legos in his room and rocking. Frank said, oh, thank goodness, I thought the music was in my head. How you doing, Frank Salazar? Okay, so that is the second song. I'm just going to burn through all of these. This is the third song that I tracked this last week. Again, this guitar was just inspiring the hell out of me. Then I brought a little bit of ska in there. It was a two-tone kid for a bit. Nice. Dylan said that was headbanging music. Nice. Yeah, I can't wait to add lyrics and vocals to these. Yeah, I was so inspired, man. And of course, being more of like a Telecaster guy, since most of these were inspired by my new Strat, it's like, of course, I have to. You're gonna notice on a lot of these tracks, I'm like finding excuses to use the I'm finding excuses to use the whammy bar, like a just because it's like, I used to, again, I started on a Stratocaster. And so it's bringing back like, oh yeah, you can do these things. And the 5 different sound possibilities. And the funny thing is the Strat that I started on was an HSS, which is like a single coil, and a humbucker, which is the bigger one you see on a guitar. And most Strats traditionally are all single coils, but my first Strat was an HSS. So being able to get an HSS that's like functional and plays beautifully, it's like it brings out this the teenage Kemble. Speaking of teenage Krembles, I'm gonna just chill this while I'm working on my stuff. If you guys use Temu, use that Temu code. If you haven't checked out Temu, it's a way to order cheap Chinese products. I get them all the time. I use Temu for like stuff around the house, like cleaning supplies, just cheap electronics. Again, not going to be the highest quality, but it fits the bill. And the nice thing is for guitar components, I've gotten so many cool things from them. Bone saddles, bone nuts, like tuning pegs, um, fret wire, all sorts of like neat stuff that costs a fortune if you order it in the States. And you can get it for like an affordable option. And hey, I'm on a budget recently. So anyhow, if you guys haven't yet, there's a promo code down there. I get a kickback if you use it. I get some money. And full disclosure, that would be cool. So anyhow, if you hate Temu, Dylan said, I hate Temu. That's okay. I understand hating Temu too. But I love it. I use it all the time. So if you guys, haven't hit that button, I will say the one thing that's annoying about Temu, we're supposed to be honest with our affiliate thing on Temu. So I'll say this about it because I want to be completely honest about it. You're not going to be stunned by the by the production quality of stuff. I will say for components, like things like pieces for guitars and stuff, I've lucked out a lot. Where I've gotten, actual like bone nut parts and like the whole classical guitar I redid, that was all with like Temu bought parts. So for like tools and stuff like that, it can be pretty good. But for electronics, you're not going to be getting like crazy high quality electronics on there, from what I understand. I did order. I think I ordered my 6-string banjo from there. It's a functional six-string banjo. It's not the best. It's not like this crazy high quality stuff, but again, I like it. So if you want to support the show and get 30% off, whatever, click that affiliate link down there. Nice. Frank said he got some miniatures and dice and also a replica of the Indiana Jones journal from The Last Crusade. I saw that on there and I was kind of curious about that. But yeah, anyhow, so if you haven't yet and you've been like eager to kind of help me out in some way, you've already got my books, which again, that would be ideal too, is like pick up Jacob's Apartment or Two Stories. But if you want to just support what I do, that's a real easy way where you can shop. And the other thing I'll say is they have like this thing where they'll make you feel like you're going to get a free product. And it's like a product free kind of thing. And you have to like send out links to people and stuff like that. I will tell you that kind of sucks like about Temu. That's the one thing I'm not really a fan of. So I'll say that too. Like if you end up in that little like, I'll get so many free products if people I don't like that part of it either. But I'm an affiliate, so I do like Temu. I like ordering from there. So make sure if you do, you use that affiliate link. Let's see here. Frank said, I'll take pictures. I'm not sure how screen accurate it is, but it works for cosplay. Nice. Yeah, they have their issues, but again, like I like it, and as a poor dude, I dig it even more. That's the other thing. Like, I've actually bought guitar pedals from there, so my whole pedal board, I bought from there for like under $100, and they're all great pedals. So, what can I say? Yes, Ben. What do you need? Where's Mom? Mom's taking Baba back. She'll be home soon, though. What's up? Okay. You want to show me? What's up? Yes. Well, come show me. I probably won't be able to come back this weekend. Why not? Well, you can at least show me and then go back. Yeah. Sorry, my kid wants to show something. Oh, wow. Wait. Come here. I want to show my stream. Show them what you did. That's rad. Here. Look at that. My son made this out of Pix bricks. Isn't that cool?
Of course I did.
That is amazing. He makes all sorts of cool things.
I know I'm good at making Pix brick stuff.
Yeah. He's really good at making Pix brick stuff. He likes to make like 8-bit icons and stuff. They're really cool. But yeah, so anyhow, we're gonna do our work here and continue to basically shade this this book. Oh, and I was gonna play more music. Let me know in the chats because I don't want to bug you guys with annoying music that you want to hear. I'm not sure which one I played last, so but I will play the next. But I need to know what the temperature's like. Are you guys feeling like it? Are you guys feeling like using the temperature? Let's see here. We're gauging the temperature of or hear. What am I saying? Are you guys wanting to hear more of the music is all? Yeah. Okay. Oh, and then Paul was saying, great job, Ben. I know he's really good at that. Like he has just like, he likes to build these, like they're almost like 8-bit, images, but out of Pix bricks, which are like these little pixel bricks. And so he makes like pixelated images, which is super cool. I just love that he likes doing that. Or he'll make like weapons, like, from Minecraft or something with them. It's really neat what he's able to do. Those are actually pretty cool, those Pix bricks for like kids that are creative, I think, because it's kind of like a smaller Lego where it's kind of Lego-ish, but we use those all the time. Okay, we're going to play. I'll play more music. I'm going to play more music. I think that was one of them. So I think this will be number 4. I think I was on number 4. So this is the 4th song that I recorded last week with that new Strat, just being super inspired. Still vocals over it. And that's an organ with a wah, by the way, the pop, 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 pop part. Oh, nice. Paul said he just spent the day at his daughter's dance recital. She's 13 and just retired from dance. So yeah, so that's song number 4 or 5. 5. That's the 5th song. Did I play C? Let me see if I played this one. Yes, I did play that one. Okay. So there's one left of the 6 songs that I wanted to play for you guys that are lyric and vocal lists. And I'm planning to add vocals and lyrics soon. But what I want to do first is write 4 more tracks and then just kind of spend a month or so, maybe a week or so. Depending if I stay inspired, maybe like in a week, I'll have all the vocals laid out. But yeah, I want to have like 10 solid like music tracks to kind of add vocals to, and then add vocals, and then maybe release these as like a solo thing. On top of the No Saboteur stuff, which we're on track 10, I think. I think we're finishing the 10th song, so I'm pretty excited about that, and I think we'll probably be finished with that tomorrow. But at least finished with recording most of it and writing most of it, which is pretty cool. And then we're gonna have our drummer potentially track drums over what we have. So that's separate from this. This is just a little solo thing that I wanted to share with you guys because, like I said, I've been really inspired this last week. I don't know what it is, but there's some kind of thing. So Paul was saying, "Is this your band?" This what I was playing? No, this is all me. And then my band stuff is separate. So for my own stuff, this is like six tracks of my own music where I'm playing everything. Yeah, so I like that. I'm pretty excited about potentially putting out another self-titled. Just cause I don't know, why not? Anyhow, if you guys are tuning in, what we're working on is page 106 of my graphic novel for Turner Publishing. And I am shading it. I am working on page 106 of it, and hopefully I'm going to be doing this a lot in the next few months or whatever, because I have about a year left to do it. I ended up having to get another extension from my publisher. They complied with the extension, which is exciting. That was nice of them. They like how the book's coming out, so they were like, yeah, we don't want to sacrifice quality, let's keep going. But that means it's time to haul ass, and I got to get at least 10 pages. I think I need to average about more like 12 to 15 pages a month. So I'm going to be working quite a bit on these and doing live streaming quite a bit. And that's kind of fun. What are you guys? How are you guys doing this break? It sounds like Paul just got back from a dance thing. Paul, I talked about this earlier today. Oh, Paul also said, I'm so mad with this kind of thing, but it reminded me of Modest Mouse. No, that makes sense. There was a bit of Modest Mouseness in that last one. I do want to say, Paul, I don't know if you caught the very beginning of this, but I showed your book. It arrived. This arrived by Thursday, and I was really looking forward to talking to you about it on Thursday. And I totally forgot about my kids back to school, and I felt terrible. But I did listen to Artcasters with you on there, and I am really looking forward to reading it. And I am sorry I wasn't able to make it on Artcasters, because it's always fun talking to comics with you, my dude. So just want you to know that I love those books, and that's about it. Okay. Let's see here. Paul was saying, I think there should be a way to get all that money back after your kid falls out of love with that hobby. I will say, Dylan, to back you up on that, it is very expensive. From what I understand, it is extremely expensive to have your kid in dance. I have a couple friends who've had their kids in dance, and it costs quite a lot of money. But it's about the experience, I'm guessing, and hopefully it's a good experience. But yeah, when I've seen what that costs to do dance, I'm like, whew, I don't know. It's kind of up there. It's kind of pricey. Let's see here. Dylan said, I'm glad it was a good experience. Yeah. And then Frank said, on a side note, could be art related. There's a YouTube channel I recommend. Matthew and Paul Official. Paul is a children's book illustrator and he's 90% blind. Wow. Okay, I'll have to check that out. That's pretty incredible. Okay, so we're getting there. There's a couple things that I gotta kind of get shaded here. We're gonna do our we're gonna do this part. Oh, and I was gonna play you guys the last song. You thought I was done with the songs. Okay, so this is the last track that I literally recorded today while we were cleaning the fish tank. And in between cleaning the fish tank, I tracked a stupid, terrible, wonderful punk rock song with a little bit of ska in it, which is horrible and great. And here it is. So that was the last song. It got a little warped. I don't know if it got warped on your end, but there's something about the song player on this streaming that will occasionally like slow and speed a song. So I guarantee you that's not on the actual track. But if it did that on your end, I know on my end it did. But hopefully that gives you a rough idea. It's just like a little punky song and that I tracked this morning. And I plan on probably like tracking another one like either tonight or maybe tomorrow. I don't know, like I've been really inspired. There's something about this guitar, and what's funny is I will say, as a critique of that Firefly guitar. The one thing that, that guitar is never going to compare with like my, actual Fender guitars or my actual Gibson guitars is the pickups they're not bad, but they're not great. And they're particularly not great at handling feedback or handling fuzz. But but I kind of like that. So like weirdly enough, I've been finding that part of it kind of inspiring. It's like a real trashy, it's a really crisp and pretty guitar on cleans. And the second you kick in fuzz, it's just like trashy. And I kind of love it. So I've been really inspired by that, about that guitar. And again, kind of blown away because it plays, the way it feels is very similar to like my Fender or my Gibsons. Like it's a nice, it's a like really beautifully worked guitar. But I will say the pickups are nothing to write home about when it comes to like, it's not like a Fender noiseless pickup or anything like that. That being said, I kind of love that it's not like a Fender noiseless pickup, because when you get distorted on there, it's just like squeaking and it's not happy. And I kind of love that. Yeah. Dylan says you've been enchanted, Josh. So Paul was saying, can you explain all the instruments on this tune? So all of those tunes, other than the one that had an organ, that had an organ with a wah effect on it, all of these songs are just, for guitars, I'm basically usually using two tracks of my same Stratocaster where I'm recording separately the guitar parts. So there's an electric guitar, and then there's a bass guitar, and the bass I use on everything is that Sterling by Music Man, or Stingray. And then for drums, it's like literally just using a drum machine. Because I can't play drums, but I'm setting the drums. And then basically, that's basically it. It's just, guitar, bass, drums, and then there's one track that has organ on it. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question. But I'm playing all of the parts on them. So, save the drum machine, which is, necessary. Not always. Like my first solo album, I just did I even played the drums on a cajon, but it's like, for this kind of music, it would sound weird with a cajon. So yeah. Paul was saying, so 3 pieces. Technically, it'd be a 4-piece, meaning like most of these songs have like 2 guitars going. I tend to write stuff like when I write rock music, it's usually, and this is probably because my friend Josh and I are like we learned how to play together. That's the friend of mine who's in No Saboteurs, and so because of that, like there's always been like 2 guitars in most rock music that I've written for. And if it's solo music, I'll quite often come up with like 2 guitar tracks, unless it's like folk. And even in folk, it always sounds nice to have extra guitar. So it'd be more like a 4-piece, I guess. Paul was saying, it sounds to me like more, it has a big sound. Nice. Dylan said you should add a banjo to one of the songs you're going to create. So the ones I've been playing, again, like those are the solo stuff, but the stuff that I'm writing with No Saboteurs, with my buddy Josh, and eventually my friend Jake playing drums, I believe, on them. Those have quite a bit of banjo. Those have banjo, acoustics. That's a wild album so far, but I'm really proud of what we're doing with it. We're on like our last song, and we've done like vocal tracks and on most of the music tracks for like most of it. All that'll be left after, I think tomorrow we're finishing up our part in it, and then I think the only thing left is for our drummer to come in and add his drums. And so those, I have not played any of that for you guys, but I will let you know when that's out, because I'm very proud of that. But that's a wacky album. Like we have all kinds of instruments on there, including like jingling keys and like breaking stuff and like just there's all sorts of interesting stuff being used on those things. So, but the thing I just played you, all of that music was recorded the last week on my own. Paul was saying if you need a triangle player, I'm your guy. And then Dylan was saying the two Joshes. Yeah, it's hilarious because on my solo stuff, right, I'm going to be doing my own stuff, but on my non-solo stuff, my friend Josh and I have both been teased our whole lives. We used to be in college together too, and so we would get grief from our teachers where they'd be like, "You're Josh 1 and Josh 2," like because they'd call for Josh and then it would get all confusing because we're both named Josh. But I've had that Josh on the Artcasters before. He's a high school art teacher. He's a great guy. And he's also a really good musician. And he also co-wrote all the stuff for No Saboteurs. So, yeah. So have you seen footage of No Saboteurs, like when we were touring and I shouldn't say touring. We weren't touring. We were just playing local pub shows. But if you see footage of that, like that I used to post, that's No Saboteurs, like a lot of the footage that I posted of us playing, and that was Wes on drums. Wes was the drummer, and then Josh and I were the primary songwriters, and so that's kind of like that's a whole different topic. You should get a wooden frog instrument. Is that the thing where the frog like holds the thing and then you go like it? You gotta tell me about that. Describe the wooden frog, because I think I know what you're talking about. I think it's a frog and it has like little wooden hammer thing in its mouth, and then you can pull the wooden hammer out, and then basically it has like ridges on its back, and you go brrr, like it makes like a kind of wood noise. But I think I've seen that. Yeah, I will say we've been using a lot of weird instruments in the other band. But for this stuff, for the solo stuff, it's like I'm just picking up an electric and writing something real quick, tracking it out, and then adding a bass line to it, adding maybe another guitar, and calling it a day. And also, intentionally on this one, on these solo things that I just played for you guys, I'm trying to keep it kind of sloppy because I feel like, especially with hardcore or punk rock, I think it's I think punk rock is boring when it's not sloppy. I think it needs to be a little. You need some mess in there. You need some false chords. Like punk rock. If it has just like too clean of solos and too good of playing, it just kind of. I think personally, it just kind of loses some of that rawness that makes it really appealing. Not that you should play it badly and screw up. Like my favorite punk band is a post-hardcore band called Fugazi, and those guys are expertly playing. But still, the thing I love about Fugazi albums is there's still like a live vibe to it, and there's still, like if they get it close enough, they call it. Like you can tell they're not like punching into like, oh, can you fix that one little bend because it was off? It's like no, they're as long as it's close enough, they're kind of calling it done, and it has a energy to it because of that. So I'm intentionally leaving some notes like kind of a little off instead of punching in endlessly to kind of make it perfect. I actually think that kind of thing is going to be really important in the wake of AI too, because that's one thing that AI can. I don't know if AI can do is just have that rawness, but I don't know. Who knows? Paul said, you just reminded me of my comic book Slop that still hasn't come out. Yeah, why isn't it come out? Where's the Slop comic, Paul? You're just not being prolific enough. I'm kidding, because Paul Pate just released a 200-page graphic novel that he did in, I think, less than a year, right? This guy is a machine when it comes to making comics. He's very dedicated. But I have been wanting to see that Slop comic. Dylan said, "Yeah, it ends up sounding like a frog croaking," and then he said, "Down with the establishment, LOL." speaking of the establishment, if you guys are tuning in and you didn't hear the thing before, I am now an affiliate partner with Temu. And so if you guys use Temu, if you don't use Temu and you don't like it, great. Don't use it. Whatever. But if you're curious about a site where you can get super cool stuff for cheap, and especially around the house items or like novelty gifts, you should check out Temu, and you should click the link below because I get a kickback from it because I'm an affiliate. So I believe that, let's see here. So yeah, down below in the description, there's a link that'll get you $100 coupon bundle, or you can search ACU 499197 on the Temu app, and it'll give you a 30% off discount. And I will get a chunk of, I'll get a little commission for stuff you buy, which is cool. So, and I'm being transparent about that. But I'm also being fully transparent about the fact that I buy stuff from Temu all the time. I love that site. It's strangely addictive. It's dirt cheap products. And some of them are great. Paul said, I want you to look at the last page real quick, Josh. You're mentioned. Is that true? Did you mention me, dude? Okay, now I gotta look. Because I've been wanting to read it. Oh man. Oh man. I got thanked in the book. Paul, that's moving, my dude. That's very moving. Oh, that's amazing. Wow. Thank you, Paul. Also, Paul was saying, you're kidding about the day with the establishment. Why, kid? Let's take it down. I agree. Let's take down the establishment. Viva la resistance. I think that I'm sorry. I'm like stunned by being thanked in your book, Paul. Thank you. That's very moving. These are great books. They're excellent books. I mention these all the time. I love them. I would enjoy them. If I didn't know Paul, I would still be like a consummate reader of them because they're just really entertaining books. They're really fun, and they're really well written. And I can't wait to read this next one. So I'm going to try to make it a goal to like read that. Maybe I'll start reading it tonight because it's like they're also really fun. Like, again, they're fun reads. So that would be a nice little break from some of the chaos going on here. Okay. We are at the hour mark, so I'm going to play the Paul said, you're welcome, you inspire me, man. Well, you inspire me too, and I think the Artcasters crew, I think we have a good group of people that we're all kind of inspiring each other, which is that's like that's the ultimate scenario. I feel like as a kid, that's kind of one of the things I wanted in comics was like meeting other people who are other cartoonists who are going to work and love this thing. And to have a community right now that does that is like the coolest thing on earth. So what I'm going to do now is play a trailer, get some water. And when I come back, we're going to work more on this beast that is page 106. So let's play the new one. I'm going to play Home Shopping Kemble by Jim Lujan.
Well, thank you, Colleen. I hope your daughter Kelly does well at North Carolina State this year. Well, we got another caller on the line. Elizabeth from Phoenix, Arizona. Elizabeth, what can we do for you? Are you ready to do some shopping, girl?
Oh, yes, Terry. I am ready to do some shopping today. I'm interested in that 2-book set you have. 2 Stories and Jacob's Apartment.
Oh, well, that's a great choice.
In fact, I bought these books before. I gave a set to my grandson, Hunter. These books are amazing.
Well, they sure are, and if you buy both of them, you really get the whole feel of the whole Joshua Kemble universe. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do, Terry. These books are remarkable because, for one, you can take them anywhere. You could put them in your car, and you can go to the park or the river. We've gone to the river. My husband Taylor and I, we just love it. And I murdered my husband at the river. Yeah, I did. But these still are amazing books.
I love it. Dylan said, I'd love to make a punk character like Spider-Punk, but I don't have a story yet. Nice. Paul said, I've never seen this ad. It's hilarious. Yeah, that's the third of the trilogy. Like, again, there are times, right, where life is hard and, and things suck and you're like, but then there's other times where I look at my life and I'm like, what did I do in life to be friends with so many talented people, and more so to have Jim Lujan of all people make 3 animated shorts for me, just because that again, like, my life is pretty rad. That is really cool. Um, and that made my day. And then not only that, to be thanked in one of my favorite series of books, like, I don't know, man. That's pretty cool. Thank you to all you guys. It's honestly that's great. Anyhow, yeah, Paul was saying that murder comment made me laugh. My back hurts. I know it was the timing of it. It's just like such brilliant comedic timing where it's like it wouldn't be as funny if it wasn't like kind of subtle and they just kind of move on from it, like like there's like a yes, and I murdered my husband there, and then it just goes dead silent and there's like a pause of like awkwardness, and then it just the charming Home Shopping Network music goes back on. It's so good. But listen to Jim Lujan and friends of mine. Make sure you guys, if you haven't yet, have picked up 2 Stories or Jacob's Apartment. That would help a lot. I don't know if I probably mentioned this, but I don't know if I talked about this on stream. I remember, so like at the beginning of the year, you get your stats on your book sales, right, from your publishers. And I remember at the beginning of the year, you expect like a decline in sales as a book's been out, right? But I remember having a bit of a sad point because the sales of Jacob's Apartment were like super low. And I was like, whoa, what happened there? Like, I thought at least I was selling, I thought at least it was in the thousands. I didn't think it was in the under hundreds. And I was like, that's bad. And I had a moment, of like sadness, and not like sad. Like, honestly, I've been doing the indie thing for a long time. So I know like sometimes you're just not going to sell books and stuff like that. So I just kind of was like, okay, well, I'll deal with that. And that was just kind of sitting as this sad weight on me up until like last week. And then last week, I got a letter from Graphic Mundi that they had miscounted the sales. Like, they had misreported it to me, and they corrected it, and it was like much more close to what I was expecting. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because and here's the thing, I don't even care. Like, with my comics, like, I don't even really care about the money on that front. It's more of like the readers, like the idea that like it had just dead stopped and like no one cared. Everybody's had that point, right? But it's like the thought of that like no one, like, yeah, like, and again, the numbers were like bad initially. So which was shocking because like the year before they were pretty good. And so it's like it was just bizarre to me. And then like that correction kind of made me a little more chipper because I was like, I don't care about the royalties or whatever. I mean, those are nice and stuff like that, but it's more of like just the idea that, yeah, people are still reading. so people are still reading those books, which is exciting. So again, like, you expect it to decline throughout, but I didn't expect it to drop off a cliff, which is what it initially looked like it had done, which was a little concerning to me. And honestly, even if that was the case, I'd still feel like, well, at least I did my best and put out the best work I could, but anyhow, so whew, that was a frightful but also nice story at the end, where it was like, okay, I wasn't crazy. I did sell a little more than like what they were initially reporting. Because that's another thing. It felt like being gaslighted, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I was moving some books. Anyhow, I'm rambling, but I just thought that was a funny story. But I also want to give props to Graphic Mundi for doing that. Like, there's a lot of publishers that maybe would, if they got away with it, and they're like, hey, we misreported this, but whatever, they'd be like, hey. But credit to them for sending a correction on that. Oh my gosh, yeah, that was a fun one. The art life is a weird one, and we've all talked about this like ad nauseum, but it's such a weird life, like of even these like stupid songs that I've been doing all week. These goofy little songs that I've been doing this week. And again, they're all real quick, like songs that I've just been tracking out. I've been really inspired, but it's like there's an eagerness to share what I'm doing, and I think we all have that with art, where it's like, man, I just did this thing. It's really cool. I'm really excited about it. Check it out. And there is like just this whole crazy roller coaster when you finally finish the thing. Because right now I'm just like sharing stuff. Like even this book that I'm doing right now, the Not Death But Love, this is in the baking process, right? It's in the oven right now. It's being cooked. And so it's like, I don't feel too self-conscious if like not everybody's on the train while it's being cooked. Same with that, the songs that I played, those aren't fully cooked songs. It's just like, hey, this is, this is just kind of showing the process of these being created, or like at least where I'm at on them, just to like try to share a little bit of the excitement I have about them. Because I will be honest, I'm really excited about those songs. I'm excited about those 5 songs. I think to me, it's really cool. I love times in my life where I'm just feeling really inspired, and art is happening, and I love those moments. I try to ride those moments, because they don't, when you get older and you start doing art professionally, those times are like almost forced to happen all the time. But there's still this weird time that will occasionally happen. There's this weird thing where out of nowhere you feel like really inspired, more than usual. Like, you have your self-discipline stuff where you're like sitting down to do your work on your work days, but then there's like this extra gas in the tank for some reason. And it's like, whoa, this is amazing. I love those moments. But again, it's such a weird thing, because you can be really amped about something you're doing, and when you release it, hear a pin drop, because it's just like there's no response. So I definitely know that that's possible. I've definitely experienced that. But it's such a weird ride. Like, yeah, it's a weird ride making these things and stuff. So even that, like getting the false numbers, I was surprised, because again, I was like, I'm a mature artist. I'm not affected by any of that stuff. And then when I saw those numbers initially, the fake ones, the ones that weren't the actual numbers, that's when I was like, oh man, like it was like, I thought I didn't care, but yeah, that kind of hurts. Like, so it is interesting, that art journey of like the fragility of what we put out. Like, we all really want people to like our stuff. And at the end of the day, like, I'm playing this music and I'm like, here's some songs I tracked. No, I want you guys to be pumped about these songs and be excited about them, because I am, and feel that excitement, because it's rad and it's cool. And even as I'm making this book, like I'm really stoked about this book. Not Death but Love. I think it's going to be an excellent book, and I am putting a lot into it. And I expect that when I release it, you guys will like it. Just like I don't mind mentioning James Apartment 2 stories because those are books that I'm really proud of and I love, and I don't regret making. I don't have times where I look at those pages and go like, man, no, I feel good about those books. They're good books. That was a long rant, and I've totally missed the chats. So let me see what everybody's about in the chats. I might play another trailer because, man, I need some water, and we just finished the panel. Let's see here. Wanted to get a tiny bit darker here, and then I want to clean up that mess that's happening on her nose. And just for the heck of it, you guys, I might play more of that music again. I might replay some of those songs just so you guys can feel pumped like I am about those tracks. I'm excited about them. All right. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, Dylan was saying you can put them in your car. Yeah, that's a great line by that too. And then Gary was saying, in her defense, a day at the river in Phoenix is pretty awful. I saw a thing. Am I crazy? Wasn't there a thing where a dude there's a thing in the news, and I don't remember where it is. I think it was in Texas. I don't know if it's Texas, but it's definitely somewhere in the South where they have like a river thing. I think it had to have been Texas because it's like they do this like tubing thing in this area, and there's this guy who like stabbed like a bunch of teenagers in the river, and then like made up this whole story about it, like that they had attacked him with a knife and he took the knife and stuff like that. But then like it turns out the kids were like filming the whole thing as it happened, and it's like, no, this guy's kind of like a weird like he was getting kind of taunted by like teenagers while he's in a river, and then he ends up like snapping and like stabbing a bunch of kids, and it's just like this horrific thing. But it's like, thank God they were filming, because like the cops almost bought his story. The Salt River. And then Gary was saying people drink and float down the river in tubes. Yeah, anyhow, it was a really fascinating case because it was one of those like claims of self-defense by the guy, but it was just yeah, it was like, I remember going down that rabbit hole a little bit and just looking at it more and more. And it's like, there's no arguable case here that was self-defense. Like there's multiple times where he could have left. It's just one of those like, wow, like that was a dude who wanted to stab some people and went to the river. Like, it's really strange. Yeah. And it's tragic. It's a tragic thing because it didn't need to happen. And it's dumb because it's like, again, like it was teenagers drinking, which is kind of dumb altogether. The whole situation was like pretty rough. But at the end of the day, like that guy was like a freaking psychopath. Basically, like, it's like when you look at it in context, it's pretty clear the guy just didn't like being kind of made fun of and humiliated by teenagers, which, like, honestly, nobody, like, teenagers should not make fun of and humiliate people. But we live in a country where you can't just stab people who are making fun of and humiliating you. Like that's a line we've kind of decided as a society is not okay to cross. Actually, Paul, if you haven't looked into that could be because I know that Autotropolis is inspired by a story about a guy that was based on a real story of somebody hijacking stealing like a U-Haul truck and a car chase with a U-Haul truck, and like it kind of inspired Paul to write this whole wild new Detective Perez story. This one might be the next inspiration, my dude. Is the Salt River stabber guy. Although you already have a story about a stabber, so I don't know if that would work, but it was an interesting one. Dylan said he loves how fine the brush pen can get. You got it in March. You said it's a Pentel. Is it the Pentel Pocket brush pen? Because it's like my favorite inking pen on the planet. I absolutely adore that pen. Yeah, anyhow, that was a wild story, but that was definitely one of those ones that was kind of bizarre. Speaking of hot in Arizona, yeah, I was gonna say it's hot right here in the Antelope Valley, man. Like the freaking valley is boiling hot. It is ridiculous, you guys. It's I think we're in a similar boat. I think Arizona gets a little worse, but I will tell you, anytime it's starting to get in that cooking side area where like you could put an egg on the sidewalk and it would fry real quick, that is, if you take it down about 5 degrees, that's what it's like here. So I empathize and feel your pain of desert living. Yeah. So anyhow, okay. Paul said the Rust City Stabber is also based on a true story. I love it. Okay. High was 100 today. Yeah, we've been getting there. Yeah, the hundreds are gonna happen this summer. It's gonna be in the hundreds again. Possibly getting up to the 110s. 100. Yeah, that's the one downside of the desert. Although I will say the air is nice and clean. Yeah. Anyhow, okay. Here we go. Dylan was suggesting calling it the Salt River Filleter. Okay, here we go, guys. I'm going to play a trailer. I'll be right back. We're going to finish up this page, though. I'm not going to lose steam. I'm going to get some water. And since Frank was in the chats, I don't know if Frank's still in the chats, but Frank was in the chats. So we're going to play Frank's beautiful Adventures at the Library. I absolutely love this one as well.
Our heroic adventurers fought orcs, monsters, sorcerers, necromancers. Now they find themselves in front of a mystical library. What shall they find? It's all in the roll of the dice.
We've come this far. There's great power behind this door. I can feel it. We just have to get past it. This door is no match for my axe. I shall chop it down. You always want to use brute strength. Why don't you try knocking? We'll try it your way. You may enter. The library is open to all those who seek knowledge. Feel free to look through our tomes. Maybe you'll find the answers you seek. I sense great power here, and it's behind those shelves. Indeed, there are powerful items hidden behind these shelves, but you can only get there through the enchanted words. Do you have those words? I believe I do.
Tremble before the Crembo.
There is great power. Look at that glove. Must be so powerful. That is not where I sense this power. I must get closer. I found them. I found these sacred manuscripts written by Joshua Kemble. Behold, I now possess 2 stories and Jacob's apartment. Please tell us more about 2 stories and Jacob's apartment, and who is Joshua Kemble. Xeric Award-winning cartoonist Joshua Kemble is a freelance artist, graphic designer, and author. Two Stories is a confessional graphic memoir that grapples with questions of faith, mental illness, depravity, and ultimately redemption in a fallen world. Jacob's Apartment is a coming-of-age graphic novel in the vein of Ghost Road and Fun Home. It weaves together the threads of spiritual faith, identity, purpose, love, and loss to create an engrossing world in which waking and sleeping dreams collide. You have made your choice. The passage is now closed. Wait, can I get that glove? No. Oh. All right, let's go.
I love that one. Thank you so much, Frank, who also has Roll for Tarako on YouTube. He has a great YouTube channel. Thanks, Frank, for sending that in. If you guys, by the way, ever want to, have like a little ad that plays on here, all you have to do is basically make a quick video, talk about either Jacob's Apartment or Two Stories or both, and then talk about your own work. Make sure you plug yourself in your own ad, and I will run that sucker on my channel. I will add it to the rotation of commercials. The reason I like having those commercials is part of why I do these streams is to try to get people to read my books, right? And then another part of why I do streams is because I like hanging out with people while I'm doing my work. Like I like the community. I like our community. But another thing about doing the longer streams, right? Because I usually at the shortest am going to be streaming for a couple hours because I'm working on comics and they take a long time. I have to take breaks. I have to go to the restroom sometimes, or get water. In the case of like, I just got a nice glass of water. And if I want to go get water, rather than give everybody dead air while I'm doing that, it's fun to play these little ads and be able to promote people who are in the community. So that's the whole purpose of them. So if you guys ever want to make one, try to keep them under a minute. But yeah, if you do that and it's safe for play on YouTube, I will add it to the rotation of the Kremlin. Yeah. Let's see here. So we are starting to get a little bit more accomplished here. We're starting to get a little further. And the nice thing is on this page is some of these are mostly like zoomed in panels, and those take way less time to make. Close-up panels, to me, at least for me, maybe I'm crazy, but they tend to take a lot less time to make than the kind of like group shots or like longer, farther away shots, mid shots. Tight close-ups, especially like a face, that's not going to take me an incredible amount of time. You can quote me on that 5 hours from now. If you guys have been watching this stream, you'll know I have a tendency to be like, I'll probably finish that in like an hour. And then 5 hours later or 10 hours later, I'll be working on this stuff. And Dylan said, I love seeing small creators promoting their small creators pieces. Yes. And I am definitely a small creator. Oh man. So there's all sorts of fun stuff that, that I have been doing. I've been enjoying the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef. I'm probably too old to be enjoying that, but I really like Kendrick Lamar a lot. I've been a fan of Kendrick Lamar since Good Kid, Mad City came out. I think it's one of the best hip hop albums of the last like decade, and I think part of why I am drawn to it is the skill on it. Like the thing I don't like about a lot of modern hip hop is I just don't vibe with it. Like maybe I've outgrown it or something like that. Like maybe hip hop's doing the right thing and I'm just an old man who doesn't get it. But from my recollection, what I like about hip hop was always like the skill and the talent behind it and the sound. Just I thought that like somebody who could MC really well was like kind of half the appeal for me to hip hop, you know. Um, and like I just felt like I got kind of less tuned into hip hop because I didn't connect with a lot of it. Kendrick was one of the first rappers that I connected with in the last like few years that I felt like, wow, this is something I should be paying attention to. Whereas like, and it's weird because I know a lot of people like Kanye and stuff like that. I never connected to Kanye. I never connected to a lot of this stuff. Not that it's bad. There's something about it that didn't really speak to me. And then Kendrick, Good Kid, Mad City, that like spoke to me. Like that was brilliant. And it was hard to deny. So when I found out that there's like going to be this beef between Kendrick and Drake, who I have heard like maybe 2 songs by, and I'm not a fan. Like I'm not. I'm sorry to anybody out there. I could see like I've heard some of Drake's stuff, and I can understand that like from the standpoint of if you're at a club and you're young and maybe just trying to dance, like I guess it's maybe danceable music. But I'm not like I don't understand it. I don't understand why people are blown away by Drake. I never really felt like he was blowing my mind with his bars. And I don't rap, so it's like I'm just coming from the standpoint of somebody who like enjoys hip hop and mostly enjoy old school hip hop, right? Like I'm most of my frame of reference is like stuff from like the 90s, like the 90s, the late 80s, the mid 90s, right? And up into the late 90s. Like that's kind of my frame of reference for hip hop. But Kendrick, like it's just to me, when they were going to have their beef or whatever, it was just there was no doubt in my mind that Kendrick would just sweep the floor with him because it's just like talent wise, it'd be like equivalent to like I'm gonna try to think of a good example. Do you guys remember the guy? He passed away recently. He's such an incredible artist, and unfortunately I'm blanking out on his name. But he would like take like a giant sheet of white paper and he would just start drawing with ink and with like one line, and then eventually have like a scene of like horses and airplanes and stuff like that. But he'd be like drawing almost as if he had an underdrawing already worked out. Do you guys remember that guy's name? Anyhow, it's bumming me out that I'm not remembering his name. But if you guys in the chats remember, let me know. Anyhow, if I were gonna go, let's have a draw off to that guy. That's what I feel like was the Drake versus Kendrick thing, where it's like, there's no way I'm gonna survive that draw off. Like we'd be, yeah, it wouldn't be even a contest, like because that guy was just on a different level. And I feel like that was kind of what was going to happen. So it's been interesting watching, but also there's so much drama around it that's been really fascinating to kind of listen to. And what's been interesting about that is I've been getting exposed to a little bit more of like hip hop YouTube, which is kind of interesting, like listening to some of the commentary and stuff. And that's just been fun. So I've been having that in the background quite a bit. Let me see. My wife's mom has been visiting, my mother-in-law, and she has been watching Lost in Space on Netflix. There was like a reboot of Lost in Space, and that's been fun because I think I watched about a season of that and forgot about it. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad show. Kim Jong-Ingus is what Paul said. Yeah, I think that is who I was talking about. So if I challenge that guy to a draw off, that's kind of how I view Kendrick versus Drake. Drake is just nowhere in the league of Kendrick. And then, yeah, Paul was saying he can't stand mumble rap. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, again, I get that it's like a trend and it's stuff like that, but it reminds me of. Do you guys remember in the late '90s? Like, this was the. Because I'm not gonna make the claim that this is the worst period for hip hop. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a point in time where like you had Puff Daddy and Mace releasing albums, and it was like shiny hip hop era. Um, and there some of the worst music ever made was made during that that time period, because you also had like Limp Bizkit and like the kind of new metal thing happening. And I would argue that some of the worst um, music ever made and known to man came out around that time. Um, and I would say it was arguably not real hip hop at all. Um, so yeah, so my point is, it's not like this is the dark ages for hip hop. It's like I just feel like, but I do think the mumble rap thing's like a passing. I don't know. That can't be a. I don't know. But anyhow, what do I know? I'm like an old white dude who's like, the hip and the hop. Like I'm an old guy now, so I don't know. Um, Dylan said, I prefer to hear my lyrics. I kind of fell off in this moment because their like last 3 albums haven't been the best. He said their last album last year released 2 songs where I couldn't understand the lyrics. So I was like, ooh, this will be a flop again. But then they released a cover to where I can understand the lyrics. So it made me happy and excited for the album. Nice. Okay, we're gonna get into this this business. So I think that this will work. I need to have like a solid light source kind of coming from the side here. But I also want to see. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Getting work done, So I wonder if I should play those songs again, because that's like, weirdly enough, for my inspiration, that is where I'm at right now. Is I am feeling the things I tracked this week. I'm kind of digging them. I'm trying to think of lyrics and vocal melodies. At some point, once I have all 10 tracked, I'll probably spend like a little, maybe have one day or something where I'm able to like sit down with them and really work out some lyrics and melodies. Because the fun part about writing music to me is quite often when you start, you don't really know what the song's about. I've rarely had a time where I write a song where I know exactly what this song's about when I'm coming up with the riff or the guitar line or something like that. Usually the theme starts sort of evolving from the sound of the song. And it becomes like this almost like really fun improvisational thing where you're like, wow, okay, now I know what this song's about. This song's about this thing. And it's an interesting form of writing, because I feel like when I write a script, I like kind of have a much clearer idea of my objective. Whereas when I write a song, especially song lyrics or something, the objective's like way more kind of lost and hidden at first, and then it kind of reveals itself. To me, I think that's one of the fun things about music. We've got to get this panel done. Got to do it. This will be the third most difficult panel on here to shade, and then I think the next ones will go fairly quickly. And after this, I have to color this page. And then move on to roughs for the next, 5 or 6 pages. Or possibly roughs for the next 10 pages. Okay. I want to play those songs one more time. Okay, I'm going to play the songs again, guys. So we're going to go through them again. Let's play the tracks that I just recorded last week. Let's start with... We'll start again with the theme song. And I'm going to play that. And then if anything comes to mind... So I wonder who's Doja Cat. I'm curious about that. I've never heard Doja Cat, but that was mentioned in the chat by Paul. And I think that this will be good, but I need to have it kind of fade back a little bit. So I want to add the... Ooh, that was a little too much. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to play the second one. I'll turn these down just a tiny bit. Nice. Dylan said Doja Cat got famous off TikTok with her song "Say So." Nice. Here's my problem. TikTok is too weird for me. I am too old for TikTok. I don't get TikTok. I don't understand it. I think that like the stuff I like to consume is longer form content anyway, so it's hard for me to enjoy like shorts or TikTok. And that's where I'm going to sound like a really grumpy old man who's like, I don't understand these TikTok children. We have Christopher Runciman in the house. How's it going, Christopher Runciman? How are you doing? And just, Oh, Christopher has a new book out called The One-Page Story Extravaganza. It's a hardcover, and it is a beautiful book. You guys should buy it. Anyhow. Yes. So anyhow, we're just running through, we're working on page 106 of Not Death But Love, the strange supernatural story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And I am playing for the second time a bunch of songs that I tracked the last week on my Stratocaster because I was really, really inspired by that guitar. And we're at this point also I have let people know that I am now an affiliate with Temu because I like using Temu to buy cheap stuff, cheap art supplies, cheap tools, cheap stuff that I need. And I use it all the time, especially to buy like guitar components like bone nuts, bone saddles, a lot of fret wire and things like that. And radius sanders, that kind of stuff. And I love Temu. I will, so anyhow, I am now an affiliate with them. So if you guys want to support the show and you use Temu, you can get 30% off clicking the link below in the show notes. And I actually get a nice little commission on anything you might purchase. And then also, there's a $100 coupon for new users, and I again get paid from that. So I'm now an affiliate with them. Anyway, Christopher said that's some fine music, sir. Thank you. I feel like it's pretty fine music too. I'm really pretty stoked on the new stuff. It's been really fun. I can't sing the praises enough of that new guitar. Like, it's been so fun to have. And really inspiring. And I've been in a really... I wonder if this is a thing, but it's like these points of inspiration, these points of like momentum and feeling energy for your work. It feels like those don't always happen. Like, you can't always force that, and it's fun when you have a period like I feel like I've been having the last few days, last few weeks, of just like really being inspired and wanting to just make stuff. Like I want to make stuff so bad. And that stuff can be music, that can be like getting further on this comic. But I've been in a creative zone the last few days. Here's the other song from that. That I recorded last week. Christopher said 100 American, that's about 1 million Canadian. That I cannot say. I know the conversion rate's pretty wild. Christopher, wait. Let me turn it down a little bit. Let me turn this crazy rock and roll music I recorded down a little bit. Okay, so Christopher, I don't know, did I ever tell you the story about when I went to TCAF? And the whole time I was there, I was like feeling nervous because I take an Uber and it's like the price just looks crazy high. And I'm like, but I guess that's what it costs for an Uber to the hotel and like everything. Like I eat food and I'm like, I choose a cheap place and it's like, wow, this is like really expensive. So by the end of my trip in Toronto, I just had this gut feeling that I was going to go home to like a zeroed out bank account. Like it was just, everything was so expensive there. It was so absurdly, like the cost was so crazy. And then when I got back to the US and I saw what I actually spent in US dollars, I was like, oh, that wasn't bad. The conversion was crazy where it'd be like, it's like $80 for a Uber. And I'm like, there's no Uber in the world that costs $80. I'm forgetting, of course, while I was there, this is Canadian. This is not US dollars. And so I was like, $80? What, are you kidding me? And then like I get back and it's like, that was actually $30. And I'm like, okay, that's reasonable. But know that if you go to Canada, you're gonna feel like everything costs a lot, and actually it costs like not a lot at all. If you're from the US and you're traveling to Canada. But anyhow, it was interesting. Dylan, I'm going to check out this Doja Cat. And again, I had to do some stuff with the chug chug riff. Like, if you have a new guitar and it's a Strat, you gotta have your chug chug riffs. What are you gonna do without a chug chug riff, you know? It has to happen. Here's the other song. I might just use these a little bit as like background while I live stream. Why not until I add lyrics to them, you know? Yeah, Christopher was saying the Eye of the Tiger. Yeah, it definitely has a similar kind of what I call a trucker rock vibe. Okay, and then here is D. This is the third or the fourth, I guess, that I've done in the last week or so. So, okay, we are now at the 2-hour mark. I think we're going to need to play another trailer. I don't know why suddenly I was like, I darn well think we need to play another trailer there. I don't know where that accent came from, what dark, seedy underbelly of my soul that came from. But I reckon it's about time. So here is, let's see if we can find, let me at least, you know what? Let's finish up. Let's finish this. Let's finish this business right here. This panel. Because this panel needs to happen. Okay. So, couple things. I want to erase out everything I just covered. And then we'll finish up this panel, and then we will go to a break, because you earn breaks on the Kemble stream. Okay, we earn breaks here. Paul said I like Taylor Swift, so there's that. I will say this for Taylor Swift. I think that Taylor Swift is very talented and writes some pretty banger music. Is that horrible? I don't own any Taylor Swift. I don't know any Taylor Swift songs off the top of my head. But when I have heard Taylor Swift, I've been like, these are pretty good songs. Like, I didn't think they were bad. So I will back you up, Paul Pate, on that Taylor Swift. Okay. Earn our break here by doing this next section. Paul was saying, finish that panel, sir. I like the sir at the end, too. Like, I dare say, sir, you will finish that, sir. I think we should start speaking like that in our community. We should start just saying sir after everything. Like, especially if you're being very serious, where you're like, I dare say that, sir. That's not fair to you, sir. I almost think, you know what? Here's what we need to do, okay? There's the Kendrick Drake beef. We need to just quit. All of us cartoonists need to quit doing cartoons and become the new movement in hip hop. And when we do diss tracks, we'll end every line with sir. Right? You know what I mean? Class up the joint a little bit. It could happen. It could happen. I mean, all we'd have to do is like learn how to do it. Yeah, Gary, I'm kind of with you on that, where it's like I couldn't hum or name a Taylor Swift song, but yes, MC Kemble and his beastly bendalos. It's gonna happen. MC Kemble. I drop mad bars, yo. I drop mad bars. Sucka MCs better watch out for my mad bars. You know what I mean? So we're going to finish up this panel and then continue to get more done in a little bit. Now let's put the opacity back up. Bop. Yeah, I kind of dig that. I don't like how it's appearing here, so I want to have this get a little darker in this spot. Okay, now I will go to a break because we have finished this panel, and then we will finish the last two panels before we finish the stream. If you guys haven't yet, hit like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications when we go live. Consider clicking that Temu affiliate link to help me out. I am a official affiliate of Temu now, and so I get a kickback if you guys go there, and it'll give you 30% off with the promo code. What was it? The promo code ACU 499197. So if you search ACU 49917, the Temu app, it'll give you 30% off as a discount. And if you're a new user, you can get a $200 or $100 coupon bundle if you click the link. And I do get a little bit of a pay from that. Okay, I'm going to put on the trailer for. What are we going to put it on? Let's put on Christopher Runciman's review, and I will be right back, and we'll finish up this said page.
Hi, my name's Chris, and I like comics. I want to talk about this comic for a second here. I just got.
Oh.
Hi, my name's Chris, and I like comics. I want to talk about this comic for a second here. I just got this in. I ordered it direct from my local comic shop through Diamond Distributing. It's Joshua Kemble's Jacob's Apartment. I really enjoyed this book. There's all kinds of comics out there, let's be honest. There's fun comics, there's superhero comics, there's young adult comics, there's adventure comics for kids. There's so many different things under the planet. But there's also an entire subgenre of alternative books. Real life, real world depictions in comic book form. Situations that happen to each and every one of us. And this is a fine example of that. If you get a chance, order this book from your local comic shop. You won't be disappointed. I can't sing its praises high enough. Okay? Check it out. Jacob's Apartment by Joshua Kemble.
Okay. All right, so we're going to finish up these last two panels, and then we're going to call it for the stream. Let's see how far we can get. Hopefully we can finish them. Okay. So I'm going to get this going. How are you guys doing? Are you guys digging the music? Are you digging the stuff that I recorded? Hopefully you are. Are you entertained? It said Dylan said I can be the random guy just sitting there if you need a random guy sitting there, I think, for the music. Paul was saying as long as you cross your arms and look tough. Oh, got it. So he'll be like our hype guy in our hip hop group. I like it. Yes. Okay. So that'll be awesome. Let's get this going. Okay, so we have our thing going here. Oh, okay. We're gonna play another one of the songs real quick. I think we were at E. I think we were at the last one. So here, I'll play it. This is our punk rocky song. And here's what I think. I think that I'm going to do just this panel and then call it, because it is about dinner time. And so I'm going to probably finish this panel and then make dinner and then be back to finish and color this page. So there we go. So that's another run through of the little tracks that I put together. Christopher said, I need to bounce also, my dudes. I'll check back with you. Peace. Have a good one, Christopher. Thanks for stopping by. Dylan was saying, I'll probably be having dinner in the next hour too. Yeah, so we'll all take a dinner break and then we'll come back and hang out. Okay? Let's see here. We just have to do this one panel. So I'm just going to finish this guy up. I do kind of think I went a little too much darks on here, but that's okay. We'll probably go in with some light in a second. I also feel like this needs to get incredibly darker here. Give me 2 seconds. All right, so we are doing our thing. And getting this through. I really don't like his nose. Like, I don't know if it's the way I drew it. I think I'm not happy with the way the shading is looking on his nose. So I want to darken it a little bit more. I want to go a little bolder with the shadow under his eye. And then I want to sharpen it up a little bit. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And then I want to go take a second pass with white over this to kind of make it work a little better, because it's definitely not working right now. So I'm going to do a little bit darker here. So I think that's the skin tones in general. I do know that I'm going to have to kind of go over that face a little bit to kind of make that work. So I want to do a little bit here, a little bit here. I definitely feel like I went a little too dark here, so we'll lighten this up a little bit. And we'll almost be done. Almost there. Still not super happy with this, but we're going to get there. Okay, now I want to do the hair. And Dylan was saying we have to get our dinner date soon. I know, we do. Yeah, I definitely have to finish this panel. So we're just starting kind of loosely, like blocking in the dark parts of the hair, and then we'll kind of work from there. Okay, now I want to do a little bit more of the kind of shadow here. Just to like darken it up a little bit. And then I'm going to do one pass with white over this. Just again, I'm not sure why, but like my shading's kind of off point right now. So that's funny. It's like you'll be feeling it, and then you just hit this point of like, this isn't quite working. Okay, it will though. We'll make it work. So do just a little bit here, and then I want to do a little bit of shaping here just to kind of get this a little more in line. And then I want to do just a little bit more of that adding just a little bit of positive. His eye is too light, actually, so I'm going to darken that a little bit too. And we're getting closer. So I'm kind of digging this, but there's a couple things. One is this needs to... Oh, whoa. Okay. Needs to get a little darker. A little darker here. Okay. And now we're just going to fill it out. And we're going to darken it up here. And I think we're getting closer to done, which is great. And I can definitely tell, yeah, I got to do dinner because it's starting to get a little sloppy. A little sloppy here. Okay. We've got... Dylan said, have you ever wondered why birds' flight patterns are so chaotic and wavy? They'll be flying to a destination that's 100 yards away, but make it 190 yards. Yeah, there's a science behind bird flight patterns, which is really interesting. And I think part of why they're doing those kind of stranger, what seem like longer routes, is I think that they have patterns that are... I think they also have a way of like sensing the kind of unseen like air currents. I heard this too, like a while ago, about air currents. There's like this secret air current in that nobody knew about till like I think World War II, which like goes from Japan to like North America. And it's like, so it actually causes like air to travel really quickly in a specific path. And I think the way it was discovered was like through balloons or something. So it's been a long time since I read about it, but it was really interesting. Where it's like this secret air pattern that's been going for, ever. Where there's an air current that you can kind of hit and it'll cause travel to go very quickly, which is kind of insane. Okay, so all I have to do now is just get this done with the shoulder. and then we are good to call it a day on the stream. So, if you guys have been enjoying the stream, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't yet, consider picking up Jacob's Apartment or Two Stories. If you want to just help me out while you shop and you use Temu, there's a promo code below in the show notes that if you enter that in the search menu on Temu, it'll give you 30% off, and it gives me a kickback if you purchase anything. And then also, if you haven't yet tried Temu, and you want to try it out and help me out, that is great too. And because I'm an affiliate, I will get a royalty on whatever you purchase going from that link, which is pretty cool. For me, that's actually a way to help me out. So I appreciate it. And again, I wouldn't really hustle something I don't use myself. I use Temu all the time for cheaper products and stuff like that. And so I realized with the affiliate program, it kind of works for me because it's a site I particularly use for guitar parts, buying, fret wire and sanding blocks and a lot of tools. I'll get tools and sort of things like that on there, as well as other things. Fun pop cultural things are on there as well. But particularly, I'm using it mostly for guitar stuff and tools and things like that. And it's great for around the house items that you don't have to break the bank. Shipping takes a little longer because it's all stuff from China. But yeah, I would say, yeah, click that. That's a good way to support the channel. And with that being said, what we're going to do is go ahead and finish the background here. And then we're going to close out the stream. And then I will finish the, I'll be streaming later tonight. I'll be finishing up the color as well as the rest of the shading on this page. I was hoping to shade the whole page on a stream, but as comics usually do, it took just a tiny bit longer than I was expecting. And so we'll have to do a to be continued tonight. So again, make sure you've hit that bell so you get notifications when I go live. And with all that being said, we've gotten somewhat far on this page. We have a lot further we can go. But for now, I'm going to call it, and I will see you guys on the next live stream. Have a good one. Dylan said when you're on your break, you should look up Skytanic. It's wild. I will. All right. Have a good one, guys. And I will see you on the next live stream. And I hope you guys have a creative day. I hope you enjoyed the music I was sharing and all that other stuff. And I will see you guys tonight. Goodbye.